have item D, a resolution to name a new bridge on Overhead Bridge Road in Spartanburg County. Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner Bridge, and erect the appropriate markers or signs of this bridge containing Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner Bridge and Ms. Flora Alice Bonner Powell. Here to receive Mr. O'Neal Mintz to present Mr. Mintz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As Ms. Powell, if your family will come on down. The American Legion, Chesney American Legion, if you would come forward at this time, and I'm proud to say that I'm a member of the American Legion in Chesney. Would like to tell you that as everybody gets in place, this is a first, and it's certainly going to an honorable person. Mr. Bonner was quite a character. He was a neighbor of mine. I'm sad to say I didn't know him as good as I'd like to. I had the privilege of reading a proclamation to him on his 100th birthday. Most people in Spartanburg County know or have heard of Watson Insurance, or Ronnie Watson. I'm going to give him a plug. When y'all receive Friends for Your Dad, Ronnie told me, said, Mr. Bonner was quite a character. Said he was a big NASCAR fan, and that got next to my heart because I raced for 16 years anyway. 1963, Mr. Bonner was the principal now of Chesney Elementary School, about a 1963 and a half Ford Fairlane. It's what it was, 427, 428, whatever the motor was. Ford had 2 4-barrels with the 4 in the floor. His son-in-law standing here, Perrin, told me 11 days before his death, he came by his house driving, not the Galaxy, but said, Mr. Mintz, he must have been running 70 miles an hour, but he was in his lane. And 101 years old, I want to drink out of that well, and I'm proud to say this man was a friend of mine. Unfortunately, like I said, I didn't know him that well, but he lives on the same road that I live on. He done a lot of things. He was the oldest and longest serving member of the Chesney American Legion. He was older than Chesney, and Chesney is 100 years old this year. Chesney was almost named at one point Bonnerville instead of Chesney. This guy done a lot, and it's an honor to me to be able to read this resolution today. A resolution to name the new bridge on Overhead Bridge Road in Spartanburg County, Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner Bridge, and erect appropriate markers or signs at this bridge containing the words Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner Bridge. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner was a lifelong resident of the Chesney area, passing away at the age of 101 years. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner was a 1935 graduate of Wofford College and proudly served his country during World War II in the U.S. Army Air Corps. He entered the military in 1941 and upon commissioning was assigned to the 3rd Air Corps at Morris Field, now known as Douglas International Airport. In 1946, after receiving the rank of captain, he left active duty but remained in the Army Air Corps and then the Air Force Reserves until retiring with the rank of Lieutenant Colonel after approximately 29 years of service, whereas Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner was the principal of Chesney Elementary School for 26 years, where he faithfully worked and mentored many individuals in the community. Whereas Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner faithfully served in his community of Chesney in many ways during his long life. He was actively involved in the community and was the oldest member in history of Chesney First Baptist Church. Through his work in education, he gained the respect of the students, parents, educators, and others within the Chesney community. Now therefore be it resolved that Spartanburg County Council does hereby recognize the significant contributions made by Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner to his country and to his community of Chesney. Be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be presented to Flora Alice Bonner Powell, the daughter of Lieutenant Colonel Thomas W. Bonner, in recognition thereof, and be made a part of the permanent minutes of Spartanburg County Council. Adopted this 17th day of October 2011, Spartanburg County Council Jeffrey A. Horton, Chairman, Nelson Marsilio, Interim County Administrator. Mr. Chairman, I move to adopt.
Motion? Second. Any other discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. All opposed, and it passes.
Thank you. Ms. Alice, would you like to say a few words?
I'd just like to thank County Council for this honor that you bestowed upon my father. He was a lifelong member of Spartanburg County, and he loved his community, and he served his country, and he served his community, and I just thank you for this honor. And I know every time Chesney community people go across this bridge, they'll remember my dad, and thank you so much.
And if you're kind enough to and there'll be one of those signs put at each end of the overhead bridge. And it's an honor to have the opportunity to do this. And I would like to say I've got a lot of friends standing here, but I got one little short fellow standing right there in the center to help race. Brian Heaton helped raise you. He helped raise all our kids in Chesney. He was the assistant police chief. You may have been the interim police chief at one time, Jack. Jack told me the other morning, said, good job in getting the bridge named. I said, Jack, I hadn't got it finished yet, hadn't got it voted on. He said, you mean you hadn't got it voted on yet? I said, no, but just trust me, we'll get that done. Thank y'all for coming. This is a pleasure.
Thank you, Mr. Man. Thank you, General Manager. See you. Thank you.